Hey y'all, and welcome to the Hillbilly Chicken Ranch. I'm Susan, your hostess, and we're back with another episode of Frugal Living Challenge 25. Y'all, we went to the discount grocery. I wanted to share some of the items that I picked up this week that will be filling in some areas in our pantry that needs fillers and some other useful items that we picked up. Now, I did notice that they had some really good looking cans of English peas, but they cost more than what they do on the regular grocery store shelf, so I bypassed those. Even though it was a name brand, I am very, very conscientious about the prices that I'm paying for my food these days, and I'm sure you are as well. So what did we find this week? Well, first off, I want to let you know that this entire counter over here cost a total with tax $16.49. So we got a really good haul here, and I got a few useful items as well, because one of the items I'm replacing is plastic. I've got a lot of plastic measuring cups, and I found these metal measuring cups, $1.99 each. So I thought that was really good. So we're going to be able to use these in place of those plastic measuring cups on my videos coming up in the future. I would have bought more sets of these because of being a YouTuber. I like to have all my cups ready to go when I do a cooking video, but until I get enough, there may still be a few plastics in there, but we're trying. We're getting there. We never know what they're going to come up with at this place. I did buy a grater. This one was 99 cents. And I'm going to be using this out in something very soon. I use these to grate my soap with for some projects that I'm doing. So you'll be seeing me use these. Another product is a palm brush. This would be good for pots and pans, sinks, and to scrape off stuck food, but it's also good to use on your laundry when you're scrubbing a spot. And it was also 99 cents. So we're really excited about that. I'm super, super excited. I've already peeled the price tag off because I was going to wash it. But I picked up this. This is a hexagon-shaped IKEA serving board, and it was 99 cents. It was actually a product sold at Publix. So I thought that was really, really cute. I'm going to use it as a cutting board or maybe as a serving board. I'm not sure. You could also set pots, your hot pots or your hot bowls on this on your table as a decorative touch, or you can use it as a decoration in your kitchen. But I love it. I thought that was really sweet. I love my wood cutting boards. Now we're going to get into the canned goods. We're buying a lot of tomato products right now because that's what they have on hand. And we got 5 cans of red gold tomato sauce. $0.39 a can. Can y'all believe that? We can't get it in the store like that. And of course, I will make sure that I write the date, the best use by date, the year on the top of my can, the last 2 digits. That way I know when it expires according to the best use by date. But we also know that that goes on far beyond that date. So this will be good on my pantry shelf for a little while. Maybe 3 or 4 years, maybe 5 years, something like that. Past that date. And I'm not going to be able to hold all these up, but y'all can see. Let me turn my camera down just a bit. There's 8 cans here. I picked up 10 cans of these. We thought they were 2 for $1. We got up to the register and the lady said 4 for $1. And I wanted to go back and buy 2 cases. It is Del Monte Harvest pasta sauce, the traditional sauce. Now, I will use this inside other pasta sauces. I don't use it by itself, but in a pinch, this would be perfect, especially if you're a prepper and you wanted a quick spaghetti meal or something with pasta. This would be ideal for that. And so these expired in April of this year, but that's okay. They're still good for another at least 4 to 5 years, if not longer. As long as the cans are clean on the tops, no rust or, corrosion, not dented, they will last. And these were dent free, so I was excited about that. I'm going to move these out of my way. Because I've got big cans behind all this pasta sauce. And also, always look at the ingredients. I know that Del Monte pretty much, it has clean products. Um, it does say natural flavor though, but we don't know what the natural flavor is. This can is a little dented, but it's got a little dent up here. It's not broken. This will be used first. And because this has a double end, I can open it on the opposite end. You want to be careful when you're picking up scratch and dent discount canned goods. Dents on the side like this one has. I don't know if y'all can see that. Yeah, you can. It's perfectly good to eat, but when it gets up around the rim, you want to be extremely careful because there could be a tiny hole in there and that food inside the can spoil. So you want to be careful with that. So this is Rosso tomato puree and simple ingredients. These were 2 for $1. So this one is a little bit different. This is pastine, ground peeled potatoes with basil. So this would go into a pasta sauce. They've got a nice recipe on the back, simple ingredients, and all of these were 1 pound, 12-ounce cans, 2 for $1. So I'm getting a really good bargain on tomato products. I got 3 more cans of tomato puree, so I'm just going to hold up 2 more of them. And again, clean products is what you're looking for inside the can. And I picked up some Rosso crushed tomatoes with basil. I picked up 3 cans of this, making a total of 8 cans, 2 for $1. So $4 for 8 cans of tomatoes. Crushed tomatoes, of course, I use in my sauces. I use it in soups and so many other things. Along with the puree, they are indispensable in a homestead pantry. So, economic crisis. Suddenly, there's nothing in the grocery stores. And I'm not trying to scare anybody, but we had the reality of the government shutdown and people going without food, going hungry. And people that work for the government had to go to food pantries. And we had people on SNAP, which is a food stamp program, unsure if they were going to have groceries on their shelves to feed their families. And I'm not going to get into the politics of it, but I just want to say that during the Great Depression, a lot of families went hungry. There was no food stamp program. I think the food stamp program actually came out of that, along with Social Security and so many other things. So how do you stretch a meal if you've got a large family? You go to one-pot meals, like casseroles. And this breaks it down in breakfast, lunch, dinner type casseroles. And ingredients were simple enough. You could take a box of noodles or rice and mix it with your hamburger, your chicken, or your pork, and have your main course of your meal. You could add peas, you could add green beans, or whatever vegetable you have on hand, and create a casserole base. Add some tomato sauce or some cheese and a few spices, and you have a complete meal. So I brought these two out of my library so you can get some ideas. Um, and just know that, it's nothing to be ashamed of to go to a one pot meal. Matter of fact, it makes cooking so much easier. You just dump it in there and you go. That's why slow cookers are so important in our kitchens today. Page 7 is beef. And we've got a beef and bean chili in here, beef and autumn vegetable stew, just all kinds of recipes in here, even fish and lamb. So you could make a complete meal in one pot. Soups. A lot of families depended on soups to survive. So plan your meals so that you're getting the basic needs of your body, which is your proteins, your carbohydrates, your vegetables, some fruit if you can get your hands on some fruit, inexpensive. That's why jams and jellies are so good, because you're getting some of that fruit in there. And stick to the staple items while you're buying, and try to learn how to scratch cook. Scratch cooking was taught to me as a child, so it's a second nature to me to scratch cook. But the recipe books are really a great way to gather recipes for an emergency situation. You might want to get some books or go online and do some research. There's archives of all kinds of recipes out there, and you can research some things that you could take out of your pantry and make a meal out of. We have a lot of pizza sauce in our pantry. How about pizza in a bowl? This would call for rotini pasta, but any type of pasta will work. Uh, Ground beef, onion, pizza sauce, tomato paste. Of course, you don't have to have all that. And of course, your cheeses, your salt and pepper, and your seasoning. So you could have a pizza bowl one night, and it will taste like pizza because of the sauce, but it'll be a pasta dish. Um, how about if you just had vegetables? Say you had broccoli and cauliflower in your freezer, or you had bought it fresh, or you had grown it yourself. There's a broccoli and cauliflower tetrazzini that you can make. And simple ingredients are the fettuccine, spaghetti, either one of those broken up. 16-ounce package of broccoli, carrots, and cauliflower. You would add a little bit of all-purpose flour, butter, milk, Parmesan cheese, and if you wanted the mushrooms, you could add them. Of course, you don't have to. And some Parmesan to top it off with. So there's different things that you can do with a casserole. Get a list of soups that you can make from items in your pantry. Vegetable soup was probably one of the ones that I remember most growing up. My mother always made vegetable soup in the summer months when we had an excessive amount of vegetables coming in from the garden, and we would eat off of it for days, literally. So whenever Mom pulled out that big pot, we knew we were going to be eating off of that probably for the rest of the week. And that's okay. At least you knew your belly was going to be full, and it was usually something very tasty. Soup gets better with time, so the longer it sits in that fridge, the better it gets, the more those flavors meld together. So that was something that we would eat during this time. Now, we would also occasionally buy a smoked ham and eat off that for a solid week. We had a family of 5 at the time, and we would go in there. If we wanted a sandwich, we cut off a slice of ham and make a sandwich. Things like that. My mom always kept soup, cheese, and some kind of lunch meat in the cabinets. You can take bologna. The beef bologna is the best, and you can make a summer salad. I will be doing that on a future video and show you how to make a summer salad with bologna to stretch that bologna a little bit further. Well, I've given you a few tips today and shown you what we've gotten in our haul, and I hope that you will come back and check out more of Frugal Living Challenge 25. It is a year-long collaboration. It is open until December the 31st, and then I will probably move that challenge over into just a playlist and continue to share things. But right now it is an open collaboration, so you're more than welcome to jump on. Make sure you're using the hashtag, tagging my channel, and using the official playlist in your description box. That is all I'm asking out of you. So please join in if you're got any frugal tips that you would like to share. Also in the comments, please let me know some of your frugal tips for stretching meals. Here's some content I think you might like. Thank you for visiting our homestead. Don't forget to like, subscribe, comment, hype, and share to help our small channel grow. See you next time for more simple living, frugal tips, and farmyard fun.